Hey guys, welcome back, and this is part 2 of the second tutorial of creating your first application. And in this tutorial we're going to cover some system output and how we can print to the screen and just do a little basic small application. Alright, first let's go over the ways of printing to the screen so the user can see what they're doing or what's happening. And we're going to have to type system dot out, and then as you see there's a whole bunch of methods that you can choose from that do different things within the class. Oh, and just a note, the system, Java is case sensitive, so you can't have a lowercase s because it won't recognize it. See the underline? So make sure that's capitalized, and the out is lowercase. And then let's talk about print. Now this function takes an argument, a string argument, or any variable like a number or anything, and that converts it to a string and prints it out to the screen. And we'll see what this does. So I'm going to type hello world. Make sure you have a semicolon at the end of your line. And let's go up here, save, and run. And you see that it says hello world, and then it says build successful, which means that the program ran successfully and there were no errors. Now let's try another line. And this is where the difference is between there are several print methods, and here's where the difference is. So let's say we want to say system.out.print again, and then let's say Bob. Watch what happens. As you can see, there's no space put in between these, and they all print out on one line. Now sometimes this is useful if you're just trying to get a simple amount of data out to the user and you don't really care about spacing and looking neat. But when I print stuff out to the screen, I really like to use print line, which is same function except with an ln at the end. And let's see what this does. And as you can see, it separates them by line, and even this build successful got bumped down. So we have a nice clean output that's very readable. And you can do the same thing with variables as well. So let's create a variable up here. I'm going to delete this. Let's create a string. And let's call it S. And it will say, hi, how are you today? And then let's take one of these out. And instead of putting the string in there, we can just type S, and it'll recognize that it's a string. And watch what happens. Look at that. Hi, how are you today? Prints it out on one line, and then it bumps it down so everything is nice and neat. And this also works for numbers, like I said before. So we can do an integer I equals 7 and shove that in there. And it'll print out 7 because it converts it to a string and then prints it out. It can do all the other data types, so booleans, and then you can say false, and it'll print out false. Just like that. So this is a really useful function if you're trying to get out data to the user, or trying to like debug your code, see if there's like a problem. You can check stuff out like that, and you use this method quite a bit. So keep that in your memory.